Then, Melissa, thank you. Well, it is hard to imagine no one coming to help you in a car crash. Some first responders say that is a real possibility on and around the Seward Highway this winter. KTVA's Joe Vigil explains what you need to do and know to stay safe.
Each winter day, between 1,800 and 2,900 cars drive on the Seward Highway in the Hope area, according to the Department of Transportation. But this emergency truck in Hope may not come to the rescue if you are in one of those cars that crash.
And in good conscience, I can't send my guys out on the road to respond to an incident or an accident if the scene isn't safe.
So here's what's happening. The DOT says it closed the Silvertip maintenance station because of a shortfall in the motor fuel tax that you pay at the pump. The station sits off the Seward Highway and Hope turnoff. The DOT says 5 staffers here have been moved elsewhere, but some salt and sand will be stored here and possibly some heavy equipment. Now, because of the closure, this station will no longer cover plowing and maintenance on the 17-mile Hope Highway, as well as through Turnagain Pass from mile marker 45 to 74, the main route to and from the Kenai Peninsula. Now, DOT crews from Girdwood and Crown Point will do the work, but the DOT says they will not provide regular overnight maintenance.
And if the road isn't plowed, sanded, and serviced, then I can't imagine that we're going to be able to roll our equipment out to go help anybody.
Our EMS team has already told us they would not respond if they couldn't get out. So it kind of is a life or death situation.
We have a B&B.
And what about people who rely on this road for prescription medication and heating fuel deliveries?
Yeah, exactly right.
The chief is putting in a larger fuel tank at home in case roads are impassable.
There's only a couple hundred people here in town, but for the couple hundred of us that are here in town, it's really important.
And it's not just Hope Emergency Services drawing a line in the snow. Girdwood Fire and Rescue has a mutual aid agreement with the Kenai Peninsula Borough.
We have an engine and a rescue and then 3 tenders.
That means Girdwood crews would respond to an emergency if they can do so while keeping Girdwood protected.
I am responsible for all of the fire apparatus and the health and safety of our firefighters. I'm not going to send them into unknown conditions on the highway if the state of Alaska will not maintain that highway in the evenings.
To stay safe through Turnagain Pass, the chief recommends travelers have extra food, a shovel, a satellite phone, and get this, special insurance.
Just because of the long distance and long time it takes to get to a hospital, we often airlift when we can people through LifeMed or another air ambulance. And so to look at, there's insurance programs you can use for those air ambulances. To look at that might be a good investment.
DOT spokesperson Shannon McCarthy says they're doing what they can with a smaller budget and explained why they chose to forego regular maintenance from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and focus on daytime hours.
About 95% of all of the traffic on that road is traveling between those hours. And we feel like we want to be able to provide a service to those folks when they're actually out on the road.
And she says if a storm whips up, crews will be available overnight with approved overtime.
We just want to emphasize that we have an incredible group of heavy equipment operators that are going to do the best job they can. Their families drive the roads and they maintain those roads, as if their families are driving them, because they are.
Joe Vigil, KTVA 11 News.
DOT officials say they would close the Seward if conditions compromise public safety. And we have a lot more details from the DOT on the decision, as well as a letter from concerned lawmakers. And you can read it all at ktva.com. And we want to know what you think tonight. Should the state cut back on road maintenance to save money? You can vote right now, ktva.com/vote now, or through the KTVA app. And right now, the majority of you, 85%, say no. And you can start a conversation on the Vote Now page after you vote. And the results of our question tonight, as you can see, the majority of you think the state should not be cutting back on road maintenance to save money. The majority, 87% of you voting tonight, said no. And finally, tonight, a Kentucky hospital gave NICU